If there's one thing Americans are really good at, besides inventing new flavors of potato chips, it's finding creative ways to waste money. And it's not just the obvious big expenses like housing or healthcare. No, no. Americans have turned wasting money into an art form, from subscriptions they forget to cancel to gadgets that gather dust 2 weeks after buying them. What makes this even more interesting is that the US is also one of the most consumer-driven countries in the world. New products, endless advertising, constant sales. It's a culture built on spending, and sometimes that spending gets a little ridiculous. For example, Americans spend billions every year on bottled water, even though tap water is practically free. They splurge on takeout instead of cooking, pay crazy fees for convenience, and buy way too much stuff just because it's on sale. And don't even get me started on Starbucks runs, gym memberships that never get used, or the mountains of subscription services most people can't even keep track of. Now, to be fair, Americans aren't alone in this. People everywhere waste money. But the sheer scale of it in the US is shocking. With a mix of convenience culture, fast-paced lifestyles, and clever marketing, Americans end up throwing away thousands of dollars a year without even realizing it. So in this video, we're breaking down 5 of the biggest ways Americans waste money. Some of these are small, everyday habits that quietly drain wallets, while others are bigger expenses that feel normal but add up fast. By the end, you'll either be laughing at how relatable this is, or nervously realizing you do half of these things too. And trust me, the last one is such a classic, you'll wonder how it ever became normal in the first place. Of all the ways Americans waste money, this one might be the most baffling: bottled water. Every year, Americans spend billions, yes, billions, on something that literally comes out of the tap for free, or close to it. Walk into any grocery store and you'll see entire aisles stacked with plastic bottles: spring water, purified water, alkaline water, smart water that's supposed to make you feel fancy. Some bottles even cost $3–5 each, and people buy them every day, as if regular tap water is some kind of risky gamble. Now, to be fair, there are a few reasons behind this obsession. Some folks don't trust their local tap water, especially in places where contamination has made headlines. Others just prefer the taste of bottled brands. And let's be honest, marketing plays a huge role. When a sleek plastic bottle promises you pure glacier water from untouched mountain springs, it sounds way more appealing than turning on your kitchen faucet. But here's the kicker: most bottled water in the US actually is just filtered tap water. That's right. People are paying hundreds of times more for the exact same thing they could get at home. Imagine buying air in a can when you already breathe it for free. That's basically the bottled water business model. And the waste isn't just money, it's plastic too. Americans throw away millions of bottles every year, adding to pollution, while also draining their wallets for something that costs pennies per gallon at home. So yeah, bottled water is the ultimate money drain disguised as convenience. But if you think that's bad, wait until you hear the next one. Because the next money waster doesn't just hit your wallet, as it hits your stomach too. If bottled water is the sneaky money waster, then takeout and delivery is the loud, obvious one. Americans spend an unbelievable amount on eating out, grabbing takeout, or having food delivered. And while it feels convenient, the costs pile up so fast you could practically buy stock in your local pizza place. Let's talk numbers. The average American household spends thousands every year on restaurant food. Apps like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub make it easier than ever, but also way more expensive. A burger that's $10 in the restaurant might turn into $20–25 by the time you add delivery fees, service charges, taxes, and a tip. And yet people still order it because, hey, it's just a few taps away. The irony? Most of the time, the food isn't even that special. It's stuff you could easily cook at home for a fraction of the price. A $3 plate of pasta magically transforms into a $15 takeout order. And don't even get me started on coffee runs. $6 for something you could make at home for 30 cents. Multiply that by 5 days a week, and suddenly you've spent over $1,000 a year on caffeine alone. Why do people do it? Time, mostly. Life in the US moves fast and cooking feels like a chore after long work days. Plus, advertising and convenience culture constantly push the idea that ordering food hacks treating yourself. And honestly, it does feel good in the moment, until the credit card bill comes. So yes, takeout is fun, but it's also one of the fastest ways Americans waste money without realizing it. But if you think that hurts the wallet, the next money waster is sneakier. It's not about food or drinks. It's about monthly bills for things people don't even use. If there's one money waster that perfectly sums up modern American life, it's subscriptions. What started as a few handy services has turned into a monthly avalanche of charges, many of which people forget they even signed up for. Streaming is the big one. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Peacock, Apple TV Plus. The list goes on. Each one seems affordable at $10 to $15 a month. But stack a few together and suddenly you're paying as much as a full cable bill. The very thing people ditched streaming to avoid. And half the time you're only watching one or two shows anyway. Then there are apps and memberships. Gym memberships that never get used. Music streaming? Cloud storage. Premium versions of apps you downloaded once and forgot about. Even random subscription boxes. Snacks, clothes, makeup, dog toys, all quietly charging your card every month. The sneaky part? Most subscriptions are designed to make canceling a hassle. You sign up with one click, but try unsubscribing and suddenly you're in a maze of hidden menus. That's how millions of Americans end up paying for services they don't even use. On average, surveys show Americans underestimate how much they spend on subscriptions by nearly 200%. They think they're spending $50 a month, but in reality, it's closer to $150 or more. That's hundreds, even thousands of dollars a year gone without most people noticing. It's the ultimate silent wallet drain. No flashy purchases, no shopping spree guilt, just a slow, steady leak of money. And while subscriptions eat away quietly, the next money waster is a little louder. Literally. Because Americans also waste a fortune chasing something they already have at home. Entertainment. When it comes to entertainment, Americans know how to have fun, but they also know how to blow through cash while doing it. From nights out at the movies to concerts, sports events, and impulse shopping, this is one of the biggest ways money disappears. Let's start with movies. A ticket at a regular theater can run $15 or $20. Add popcorn and a soda, and suddenly you've spent $40 for 2 hours of sitting in a chair. Compare that to waiting a few weeks and streaming the same movie at home for a fraction of the price. But hey, the smell of movie theater popcorn is powerful. Then there are concerts and sports games. Americans spend hundreds, sometimes thousands, on tickets. Want decent seats at an NFL game? Prepare to fork over $300 or more. Big-name concerts? Ticketmaster fees alone could fund a weekend getaway. And yet people keep paying because the experience is irresistible. And let's not forget impulse spending. Online shopping has turned browsing into a financial hazard. One late-night scroll on Amazon, and suddenly you've bought kitchen gadgets you'll never use, clothes you don't need, and a random LED light strip for vibes. It feels cheap in the moment, but it adds up shockingly fast. Why do Americans do it? Partly convenience, partly culture. Entertainment is marketed as essential, the work hard, play hard lifestyle. And with credit cards making it easy to spend now and worry later, the cycle repeats itself. Don't get me wrong, entertainment is important, but the U.S. system is designed to make fun as expensive as possible, and Americans fall for it again and again. And if you thought spending hundreds on entertainment was bad, wait until you see the last money pit on this list. Because it's something Americans know is a ripoff, but keep paying for anyway. If bottled water is paying for what's free, then bank fees and credit card interest are paying for absolutely nothing. And yet, Americans waste billions on them every year. Let's start with credit cards. They're a staple of American life. Everyone has one, sometimes 5 or 6. Used wisely, they can be great. Points, cashback, building credit. But here's the trap. The moment you don't pay the full balance, interest kicks in. And that interest is brutal, often 20% or more. Suddenly, that $100 pair of shoes turns into $150 or $200 if you only pay the minimum each month. Multiply that across millions of people and you've got one of the biggest money drains in the country. Then there are bank fees. Overdraft fees, late payment fees, ATM fees, account maintenance fees. It feels like banks invented new ways to charge you for existing. The classic? Overdraft protection. You swipe your card for a $5 coffee, your account dips negative, and boom. The bank slaps you with a $35 fee. Congratulations, that latte just cost $40. And the worst part? Most of these fees are avoidable, but because life is busy and finances are stressful, people end up paying them over and over. In fact, studies show the average American pays hundreds per year just in fees. That's money that could have gone to savings, groceries, or literally anything else. The irony is painful. Americans work hard for their money only to hand chunks of it back to banks and credit card companies for essentially nothing in return. It's like lighting cash on fire, but with paperwork attached. So yeah, it's one of the most frustrating and pointless ways Americans waste money. So there you have it. 5 of the biggest ways Americans waste money. Bottled water that's basically tap water in disguise. Takeout and delivery that triples the price of a meal. Subscriptions that quietly drain bank accounts every month. Entertainment and impulse buys that feel fun in the moment but hit hard later. And finally, bank fees and credit card interest. The ultimate insult of paying for nothing at all. What's interesting is how normal all of this feels in the US bottled water. People grab it without thinking. Subscriptions? Everyone has a dozen they don't remember signing up for. Credit card debt? It's practically treated as a rite of passage. The culture of convenience and consumption makes these money wasters feel like part of everyday life, even though they add up to thousands of dollars a year. Of course, not every American falls into all of these traps. Plenty of people budget carefully, cook at home, cancel unused services, and avoid debt. But the bigger picture is clear. The system is designed to make wasting money easy, and resisting it takes real effort. The takeaway? Most of these money wasters aren't necessary. Cooking at home instead of ordering delivery, drinking tap water, canceling unused subscriptions, and paying off cards in full can free up huge amounts of cash. It's not about living a joyless life, and it's about being aware of the little leaks that turn into floods over time. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these money wasters do you think is the worst? Are you guilty of any of them? Or do you have your own example of how Americans waste money in ways that blow your mind? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to see which one you think drains wallets the fastest.